Good evening, everybody. My name is Ray Atkins. The sun is rising on the sacred ground. Broken promises were sung all around. It came upon us, took us by surprise. But we would fight on, so many would die. Something happened to us. Oh, the separation of us took its toll. You're free to live your own life. I'm not telling you how. You can lead with your own heart and find your way out. Taking a chance could be a compromise. You lift up your whole life and just try to survive. We breathe in strength and we marched on wickedness. Betrayed and forsaken, we could not concede to this. Something happened to us. Oh, the separation of us took its toll. You're free to live your own life. I'm not telling you how. You can lead with your own heart and find your way out. All around the fire, many stories are told, how they lied and twisted us up and put the truth on hold. Something happened to us. Oh, the separation of us took its toll. You're free to live your own life. I'm not telling you how. You can lead with your own heart and find your way out. Please lead with your own heart. Just lead with your own heart.
Indeed, that is our Ray Atkins. So grateful for him, and he wrote that song, Lead with Your Heart. Isn't that a good idea? Welcome, everyone. So glad you're here. God is in this place. Here we are centered in the very heart of the divine. For this presence is omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, omniactive, and we are beautiful, individualized emanations of this divine life, gathered together here tonight in order to remember who we are, in order to celebrate the divinity within all humanity, and for us to learn and grow together as we walk along our spiritual evolutionary path. And so here, in this safe, sacred space where God is fully present and we are fully alive and awake to that presence, we enter in this evening to a joyous celebration of that life that inspires and uplifts, celebrates itself by means of each and every one of us. And how grateful we are for this gathering, how grateful we are for the divine presence and power, and how thankful we are for one another. Accepting the truth of these words, we release them now to the perfect law of mind, and I invite you to say with me, and so it is. Hi, everybody. So happy to welcome you on this nice, cool Thursday night. And it's just a joy to see you here, to be with you, to gather and have a wonderful sense of community. Don't you think that what we need more than anything else in this world right now, including in this very room, is a sense of belonging? We belong to the divine. We belong to one another, and it's a great joy to be together in this space. We are a beloved community. Oh, was I not working over there? Or am I just louder over here? Okay, good. I'll continue, see what happens. It's always fun. See, I'm wearing jeans tonight. I thought I'd just sort of be really casual. We support each other, and the way we support each other in this beloved community is through remembering who we are and looking at one another and remembering who you are and celebrating the possibility of the divinity within our humanity showing up more than just the humanity. Humanity's fine, but we really need to be awakening to our spiritual. Oh, go ahead, let's do that. What are we going to do here? We are about awakening to our spiritual magnificence. And so we do that with one another. We learn, we study, we teach, and we practice the principles of science of mind. I have done this since I was a child. I'm so grateful. But it doesn't matter at what time we may come to learning a little deeper, greater truth, does it? What matters is that right here and now, we're learning it with each other, we're sharing it, we're practicing it, and we're lifting each other up. For in this community, which is completely welcoming, we want everyone to feel that they belong. And we want everyone to feel safe, no matter where you are on your spiritual path. And that includes the folks who are watching when we air this on Sunday morning. Wherever you are in the world, all you folks out there for Sunday morning, and wherever you are on your particular spiritual path, we honor it. Absolutely honor it. And sometimes we walk together when things feel sad in someone's life. And sometimes we dance together when we're particularly joyful. That's what a community does. So we're happy that you're here. Anyone here for the first time? Oh, we love you already. And we're so glad that you're with us tonight. What do we do? What do we do as a whole global group? Because you know Centers for Spiritual Living are all over the world and flourishing and growing. What are we here to do? We are all about co-creating a world that works for everyone, or as we like to expand it to, a world that works for all, including the world itself. So thank you all for being here tonight. I love that we are here to play and pray together. Now I'm going to ask Reverend Mike to come up because we do what are the Declaration of Principles each Thursday evening. And this one is Declaration number 14. Would you care to read that and talk a little bit about it?
Delighted to. So we believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. Just sit with that for a moment. You know, it really couldn't be anything else because that goodness, that life, is you. It's the I of me, it's the I of you. Continually giving of love, of joy, of peace, and all things good. The only thing that ever gets in the way of that is our imagining that there's not. Our throwing doubt in the picture. Our forgetting how good it is. Or putting arbitrary standards as to what it needs to be for us to be prosperous. I don't need to have 3 cars in the garage to be prosperous.
We don't have a garage.
For what? For instance. The point is, that real treasure is found within your heart, with a soul connection, with friends, with family, with who we have here. And that's all I have to share.
Thank you. Thank you. That was nice. Well, now we're going to have the opening song that we've been singing throughout the month. And you already know it. It's Karen Drucker. And so Ray's going to lead us in God is My Source. Would you like to stand up and really get some life moving in us here? We're going to pick up the beat, huh?
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
You did well. You may be seated. Thank you. Thanks, Ray. I'm going to talk to the kids. They're kids that will be tuning in on Sunday morning because it's going to be past their bedtime, so they're not here tonight. Okay, kids, here's a question. Do you get an allowance? I didn't get an allowance as a kid. But you know, I always had plenty to eat, and I always had fresh clothes, and always a place to sleep, and parents, and 2 older brothers. I was the bane of my 2 older brothers, bratty little sister, you know. But I didn't need an allowance. I did babysit. Do you kids babysit? I used to get 50 cents an hour. How about you? Inflation, right? And my parents had jobs, and yet they knew their source. I was so grateful that my parents, like your parents, because I've known all of you since you were in Fun Day School with Reverend Mike, and you're teenagers now. But your parents, like my parents, understand that God is the source of our abundance that fulfills our every need. Sure, we have jobs. Some get allowance. But just the same, everybody knows that no matter where the good comes from, it starts in the heart and the mind of God. Isn't that good to know? When I was 13, my beloved minister, Barney Earl D. Barnum, in Redondo Beach, he said to me, Maxine, why don't you start a teen group? What a great idea. So we started with like 4 or 5 kids, you know, kind of like you all. And that was so satisfying. It was so wonderful. We met every Sunday. And then when my daughter, a few years later, I had a daughter who became a teenager, and we were still attending the Redondo Beach church there. And she would attend the teen group every Sunday night, and there were 200 kids. Wow. You plant an idea, and it grows. It was wonderful. So I know that God is your source, even if you get an allowance, even if you have a little job. And your parents know that too, because I know your parents. And I also know that you are kind and loving and generous. And that's because that's what we do with the abundance. We receive it gladly, we share it gladly. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll talk to you soon. Hope to see you next Wednesday night. Okay. Oh, this is an exciting part of our service. It's the announcements. Here comes our board president, Payson Burt, with the announcements. Yay, Payson!
Thank you. And I'm here with today's announcements. I'm their vice president. Special Thanksgiving celebration. This is coming up the Wednesday before. So a night of gratitude and community on Wednesday, November 27th, Thanksgiving Eve. We'll begin a half hour early and start here in the sanctuary at 6:30 p.m. And we'll have a celebration of gratitude, including wonderful music, our own Ray Adkins, and Django Klump, who does the classical guitar, and that's the international symbol for classical guitar, and a harpist. And also we're going to be doing the Bountiful Bouquet, which is everyone loves to do. After that, we'll gather in the fellowship hall, which is down the hallway there, and we'll at about 7:15 for a communal meal. Bring a dish to share if you wish, and everyone is welcome, including the UCC folks and others from the community. We'll be setting up tables and chairs and receiving your dishes from 5:30 to 6 p.m. So that's that. Now be with us on Sunday, December 8th. It's a whole different one. Over in the fellowship hall at 2 p.m. for honoring GPCSL's 32 years, receiving new members, rededicating our practitioners, installing Reverend Micah as assistant minister. That's a big deal. Yahoo! Yeah. And refreshments. Okay, you can register for all our events at www.cslphilly.org. Just you'll see the big pop-up menu, and it'll direct you to the events calendar or the actual event that you're clicking on the pop-up menu. And that's all I have. I'll see you soon. Okay, thank you.
You would simply take a deep, holy breath of life together with me. Feeling that loving presence circulate through our consciousness, our physical bodies, our emotions, our thoughts, the prana, the chi. This is the presence of divine life itself, so beautifully circulating through us, bringing us into the deeper part of our hearts. And as we enter into our heart, there is such a beautiful sense of welcome, such a wonderful awareness of the loving presence. For our hearts are all held very tenderly in the heart of God, the cosmic heart of the universe itself. And so it's a place for rest and renewal. There's a vibrant life force moving through every sentient being, every atom within our being. And it restores, and it refreshes, and it replenishes. And so whatever may have concerned or confused, it has no place here. It cannot enter the sanctuary of serenity. This is where we now choose to abide. There is overflowing love, the love of the one for all. Receiving it and sending it out is all we need to do, beginning with simply letting ourselves be so loved that there is no room for doubt or fear, just love. So just let yourself be loved. And with that divine, juicy presence of compassion flowing through our entire consciousness, let it find its way to flow out into the world, to touch and bless all all of those who are in need of this compassion and this inspiration. Let the love move out and touch and bless and uplift everyone, everywhere, every moment. Let it fill the needs, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Let it fill all the needs, for love is the greatest power in the world. And it dwells right within our hearts, where we dwell right within the greater heart of God. And so let us be those recirculating fountains of love and generosity, shining that divine light into all the corners of the world where it is needed and being requested. Let's do our part here and now from the very center of our being. We are not interested in the love of power. We are completely embodied in the power of love. Let it flow. Let it flow into the world and return to us continuously. How peaceful it is, how grateful we are to remember that all is well. Truly, truly, all is well. Now it's my pleasure to welcome our practitioner of the evening to come up for our practitioner corner. That would be Sarah Funk.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm going to read from the Science of Mind a little excerpt called Fullness of Light. The light of life is full within me and around me. It shines forth into the perfect day. O light within, lighting my path to peace, I adore and love you, and I let you shine. Go forth and bless all who come to you, light within. My light radiates to all and through all. My light has come. I will do this treatment in the first person, and please take it for yourself if you so desire. Knowing that this light within is the light of God. It is who we are, each and every one. And I know this light within me shines forth in all that I do, say, and think. I move forward each day, deeply thankful and grateful that God has given me so much. It's abundance overflowing, an abundance of joy, an abundance of friendship, an abundance of kindness, an abundance of compassion. And who could ask for more? For God has given us all that we need, all that I need. I know this is so, and I'm deeply grateful that it is the truth. As I release this treatment into God's holy law, knowing it is acted upon and done, and together we say, and so it is. And the affirmation tonight is, I give graciously of the divine bounty, thankful to live in Spirit's generosity as we all are blessed.
There's a song I wrote years ago. It's called When I Share Myself. So it's a little fun. It's a fun song. It's kind of done in the style of the 50s. So I'll teach you a little bit. This is the part that you'll do. When I share myself, share yourself. Share yourself. That's it. When I share myself, share yourself. And then there's a part where it goes, when I open my mouth and I pour out my heart, and then you say, I release the hounds. And then you go, oh! Okay, are you ready for this? To be honest, you're not my first concern. I've already decided you've got nothing to learn, because I hold myself back and I won't say that much, because it's nice and safe all tucked away and out of touch. But when I share myself, share yourself. All that I can, share yourself. I'm a much better man, share yourself. When I share myself now, share yourself. When I share myself, share yourself. There's a chance for you and me, share yourself. For all we can see, share yourself. When I share myself now, you know, it's often said, every day's a brand new day. and you know that it's true in what they've got to say. When I let it all go, I lose a few negative pounds. When I open my mouth and pour out my heart and I release the hounds. Ooh! But when I share myself, share yourself, and I hear what I say, share yourself, I get out of my way, share yourself. When I share myself now, share yourself. Here we go. When I share myself in the spirit of generosity, with nothing in order to happen than to give my listening and create a safe space for others to share themselves. Selflessness, attunement to the universe, and giving freely to all of the deserving and the undeserving alike. When I share myself, it's the opportunity for myself and others I don't have all the answers, and I don't pretend to know, but I won't give up my trying until it's time to go. And all of my complaining is not the way it sounds when I open my heart and I pour out my heart and I release the hounds. And when I share myself, share yourself. My love is for free, share yourself. For you and for me, share yourself. When I share myself, now share yourself.
Ray, thank you for sharing yourself so beautifully. I love that. How fun. You got them howling. How'd you do that? I've never been able to do that. You needed like 3 gals up here as your backup dancers. Yeah.
Next time.
Oh, yeah. You and you and you. Okay, how wonderful. That was perfect. Tonight I'm talking about enough to share and enough to spare. And we are doing a lot of beautiful sharing here tonight. A quote from Lewis Richmond, who, from his book, Work as a Spiritual Practice, he's a Zen meditation teacher. Generosity is the classic expression of the accomplished spirit, when the self is open and unguarded and can freely share with others. So where do we begin? We begin with understanding this universal principle of abundance and celebrating it. It's everywhere present. It's right where each of us is. You know, you can't count all these leaves falling off the trees. I've tried. It's beyond my ability. I can't count that high. And you can't count the grains of the sand in the beach. And, you know, in truth, there is enough food, there is enough material for creating houses, there is enough clean water, there is enough of everything for everybody on the planet. There is enough. We have all the resources. Well, why then, we wonder, why is there the lack? And why is there the hunger? And why is there the deprivation if there is everything that's available to us? Well, when we return to principle, and we return to principle all day long, we realize that God is omniscient, all-knowing, omnipresent, everywhere present, omniactive, busy doing wonderful things all the time, and omnipotent, all-powerful. So there's not a problem with the divine. There's not a problem with God. God is generous, giving constantly of its complete, infinite resources. So why isn't everybody prospering? Well, the external answer might be greed. But the internal answer is consciousness. Consciousness. That's what it's all about, of course. You and I are capable of an attitude adjustment, and we are doing this all the time when we get involved with the details out here and we get ourselves upset about, oh, there's not enough, I'm doubting, I'm fearing, etc. We do that because we have this human nature as well. And so we have a real change in consciousness. And we have to stop ourselves, catch ourselves all day long. I do. I don't know if you do. But every now and then I have to stop and think, wait a minute. God is still my source. It doesn't matter what I'm seeing, what someone is telling me about any kind of lack or limitation. God is still all-powerful. So you and I are capable of using this divine energy to shift our own consciousness when we come into some sort of place of doubt or fear. We also can use this wonderful divine energy to lift the consciousness of others in the world. Remember, that's what Ernest Holmes replied years ago when he was asked, what is this religious science supposed to do? What is this science of mind going to do for the world? And he borrowed Jung's phrase and simply said, it's to lift the collective unconscious. We have our part in this. Isn't that exciting? There is something we can do about it. Instead of weeping and wailing and thinking, oh, around the world or even closer to home, people are hungry. What can I do about it? This is what we could do about it. We can do our affirmative prayer, our spiritual mind treatment, and send infinite love, abundant love, to everyone, whether we'll ever meet them or not, and most of them we will not, and what difference does it make? We're all a part of this divine human family, and don't we want the best for everyone? There is enough to share, enough to spare, and it is a matter of lifting consciousness. That's what this teaching is all about, isn't it? So we delight in our ability, a delight in it, to thrive in Spirit's goodness and to share it generously. It feels wonderful to be this recirculating fountain of life, recirculating fountain of love, recirculating fountain of abundance. How do we get there? Jesus said it quite simply. He said, according to thy faith, be it unto you. Oh, I get to move from fear to faith. I get to deepen my confidence in the living Spirit Almighty, which is constantly giving to all of its beloved creation. We're learning to receive. Wouldn't you like to be a more generous receiver? I think it's important that we become generous receivers and recognize that all of the abundance of everything, not just money and material things, but success in relationships and love and compassion and joy, and all the good things that are constantly being showered on us. Let's open our hearts and our minds more to receive them, and then lift others to the point that they can learn to receive it too. We need a firm faith. Not one that wavers, although it will. Have you ever found your faith wavering? Sure. Who hasn't? You, even you over there, you too. We put these two over here to just keep them behaving. So far it's working. We sometimes have a doubt. We sometimes have a little fear creep up. That's the time that we need to deepen our faith. How do we do that? I do it by remembering that there is only one life, and that life is God's life, and that life is whole, complete, and perfect. That life is my life, and that life is your life. It's the only life there is to have or to be. Let's enter more deeply into it, establishing that deep faith. We need a firm faith and an expansive love. When I know that I'm deeply connected to my source, it's so easy to send my love out to all of you and to all the people that I'll never meet. Easier with you because I know you already. But it's just as easy. In fact, remember in the Peanuts cartoon years ago, I think it was Lucy who said, I love all of humanity. It's just people I can't stand. Sometimes it's easier just to send the love out anonymously, but let's learn to do it both ways, personally and globally. Emma Curtis Hopkins, many of you are familiar with her, teacher of teachers, and actually Ernest Holmes was one of her last pupils. She says we are to have a firm mind, even in the presence of trials. How about especially in the presence of trials? And she says, those who have firmness of mind in the midst of apparent misery form the infinite substance with their mind. That reminds me of the Heisenberg principle. It makes me think about quantum physics, about how our intention upon what we see or perceive or experience out there in the world, our focus upon it, our intention upon it, has everything to do with how it turns out. We have the power of intention. That's how we were created. And I love it, don't you? We can make a difference by remaining in that place of faith and remembering that infinite abundance of every nature, whatever you call it, whatever it means to you, is available at all times, everywhere, in all places. And you know, it is not selfish at all for us to become generous receivers of our bounty, whatever that is for us. We become examples, living examples, for people to see, oh, have you ever had anyone come up to you when they see how peacefully or how lovingly or how beautifully you're living and say, what's your secret? You know, what do you do? Bring them. Take them to class. Bring them to some of our gatherings. It's an inspiration. You are an inspiration. You and I are inspiring other people when we simply live our best lives and be our most beautiful selves and our greater angels. We inspire other people. Don't you see how important that is? This goodness is far more than monetary abundance, but it includes that, doesn't it? So we're ready to establish peace, plenty, and prosperity in our lives and in the greater world. Empathy as well. Remember General Omar Bradley? In 1948, he said, "We have grasped the mystery of the atom and rejected the Sermon on the Mount. The world has achieved brilliance without conscience. Ours is a world of nuclear giants and ethical infants. We know more about war than we do about peace, more about killing than we know about living." 1948, pretty good words still, now. We must be firm in our learning and our deepening of our faith. And we want to learn less about greed and more about generosity. Less about condemnation and more about compassion. So let's choose to live in a consciousness of ever-growing prosperity for all. Are you up for that? A consciousness of ever-expanding, deepening prosperity for all, for whatever their good is. Each person has his own idea of what their good is. Ultimately, we come to the realization, as Emma taught us, our good is our God. That is the good that we're seeking. And it's not hard to find it. It's right here. So there truly is enough to share and enough to spare. There is. So let's come from our hearts. Let's accept and scatter God's bounty wildly. You want to scatter it wildly without any idea about anything being reciprocated. God doesn't work that way. You are emanations, individualized manifestations of God. So we don't work that way either. We just give. And then we receive. It's this beautiful, beautiful recirculation, as we were speaking about last week. Let's start something. You want to start something? Let's start by recognizing our spiritual source of all our good. Let's start by sharing small and large measures of that good with each other. We were made for these times, weren't we? You know, there's this like a delicious fragrance when we start deepening our sense of our connection with this beautiful, bountiful life of God. It's like there's a fragrance of faith. Can you smell it? There's an air of authenticity. Excuse me. An air of authenticity. And there's a scent of success. I am so grateful for this beloved teaching and for this beloved community and all the beloved communities around the world that are helping each other awaken to the divine truth that we are here to emulate the divine presence itself, which shares, and we continue to share and continue to receive. Will you say with me, I thank God for infinite abundance. I'm a generous receiver. I am a grateful giver of all things good. There's enough to share. There's enough to spare. And so, my beloveds, beginneth our lesson. Thank you. Wow, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I love you all so much. I'm so glad to be with you every week. Now is our time to celebrate our prosperity, because we know that every good gift comes from the divine. This is our source. This is our reminder. I like to give in this way, the old-fashioned way. Many of you give online in so many beautiful ways. Thank you for that. But I like to just hold this gift to my heart. It reminds me that every good gift comes from the very heart of God itself. And I'm grateful for it. So will you say with me our prosperity affirmation? I choose to celebrate prosperity. Divine love blesses my gift. It is my acceptance of God as the source of my abundant supply. With joy and gratitude, I share my abundance with this center. In doing so, I am one with the law of circulation. My tithe goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It returns to me multiplied abundantly, and I am prospered, and so it is. Make sure you get the bag. Put your hands over the plate as it comes by.
I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, that my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love I give always gives back to me, knowing my oneness with everything. everything else. I know that all that I give to myself. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Knowing my oneness with everything else, know all that I give to myself.
Gratefully we accept this generous outpouring of love. Gratefully we accept with love and with gratitude that something wonderful is occurring because of our generosity, and so it is. Okay, I'm going to ask you for two things. One is, let's have minister and we have just one practitioner here with us tonight, but let me ask just for you both to come forward, and let's do this together. Then we'll go down here for our closing song, okay? We have 6 practitioners in our center. 2 of them are in different states. I mean, Florida and California. 4 of them are right here. This is one of those. 4th. Here we are. All right. And so thanks again for being with us tonight. We have an amazing array of food out there, so please stay. Everybody was so generous in what we brought tonight. Let's enjoy some fellowship together. So we go forth in the understanding that this one life circulates love, circulates abundance, and each of us is that beautiful fountain through which it flows. All is wonderful and getting even better, and so it is.
And so it is.
Now, let's come down here. We're going to make a little circle, and we're going to sing our closing song.
Come on,
okay. And we've been invited to form the circle over here so that people could see the words.
That's a good thing.
A semicircle, right. Okay. Okay, Ray is going to lead us through this one.
This is a song by Zach Brown called The Remedy. When I say, what is the remedy? You say, the remedy is love. Been looking for the sound that makes my heart sing. Been looking for a melody that makes the church bells ring. Not looking for the fame or the fortune it might bring. In love, in music, in life, Jesus preached the golden rule. Buddha taught it too. Gandhi said eye for an eye makes the whole world go blind. With a little understanding, we can break these chains that we've been handed. I've got the medication. Love is a remedy. Pray to be stronger and wiser. You know you get what you give. Love one another. Amen. Amen. I've been thinking about the mark that I'll be leaving. Been looking for a truth I can believe in. Everything and I need Him. Let this heart be my guide in love, in music, in life. I'm not saying I'm a wise man. Heaven knows there's much that I'm still finding. Making my way down this winding road, holding on to what I love, leaving the rest behind for love, for music, for life. Pray to be stronger and wiser. Know you get what you give. Love one Amen. What's the remedy? That's right. We're all in this world together. Life's a gift that we have to treasure. Happiness is the measure. Love is the remedy. Everyone can be forgiven. One love and one religion. Open up your hearts and listen. What's the remedy? Pray to be stronger and wiser. You know you get what you give. God is love one another. Amen. Is that the words? Amen. 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 Here we go. Love's a remedy.